I wanted to open it up a little bit, to you guys. If you guys had any questions for Ray, just go ahead and raise your hand. Anything particular you wanted to talk about, you wanted to know. Anybody? Don't be nervous. Go ahead.
Who is your best friend on WWE?
My best friend? Believe it or not, I used to hang out a lot with R-Truth. I mean, we used to be dogs, big time. And when we got split up, because he, for a while, went to Raw, and I stayed on SmackDown, we'd just travel separate ways. But when we were both on the same roster, we would both travel together. And now it's kind of awkward that we're wrestling each other. Yeah. Yep.
Who would you want to face in your last match?
In my last match? Oh, I hope that doesn't come soon.
If he ever quits.
Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon.
That's a hard one, but you know what? I would love to wrestle Triple H. Triple H or Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
When they say he's a cerebral assassin, what is he that? Do you feel that in the ring? Does he capture what's going on with that with the fans and
He definitely got a different type of energy in the ring, and I've seen him perform from the outside, never on the inside, and he's definitely a superstar that's very intense with A to Z.
Good. Last time you were in Seattle, it was a SmackDown and CM Punk, and you had your kids there.
Right.
How did your kids feel about that when
They were kind of shocked because they weren't expecting it. We were celebrating my daughter's birthday, I remember, and it was a way, an invitation for kind of my kids to get out of home and travel with me on the road. I like to do that every now and then. And it was shocking that all that went down and kind of spoiled the surprise of having a birthday, on worldwide TV. But sometimes things like that happen in wrestling. Just kind of got to go through it and make it the best you can.
If Dominic hasn't asked you yet, if he asked you could he join wrestling also, would you allow him?
He's asked me already, 2 or 3 times, out of nowhere too. He's trying to be sneaky about it. I would definitely, I wouldn't deny it, but I would definitely have him pursue for an education first, and then have wrestling as a second background.
And also, don't embarrass my younger daughter. She has a crush on Dominic.
Oh.
Watch out. Yeah, the question back there.
How did you feel during your first professional match when you first walked out? Just stays to all the fans screaming your name, screaming and cheering you on.
My first professional match, just before I was even known, or
yeah, when you first got into the business.
Okay. I was excited. Nervous, excited, sweating, a lot of mixed emotions. You gotta remember, when you walk out for the first time in front of a live crowd, nobody knows who you are. So you don't know if you're gonna get a crowd reaction, if they're gonna be silent, what's gonna happen. But it was actually pretty interesting for me because I was wrestling in front of a bunch of kids. So I was a kid at the time. I was 14. Kids saw me and they kind of patted me, and I felt like I was Hulk Hogan back then. Wrestled for about 12 minutes, and after that it was like, wow, this is really cool, man. I can keep on doing this. But I guess that mixed emotion only happens within the moment you walk out and you have eye contact with the audience for the first time. And as soon as the bell rings, it's like you're in the zone. You kind of block yourself out from who's watching you, and you just enter in a zone where you just a form of entertainment. It's kind of like showing off what you know how to do. it's actually a cool environment, cool way to feel.
Last question. Go ahead.
You were talking about Conan and the Dean Malenkos and
Yep.
stuff like that. Who in the past from WCW that's just your dog that you just keep in contact with today?
Conan, without a doubt, and Dean Malenko. You know, Dean Malenko works back behind the scenes in WWE. He's an agent for WWE. Normally, there's an agent that works with a lot of the wrestlers, and he's one that works with me pretty much 90% of the time. So, and Conan lives literally 5 minutes away from my house in Cali, and he's the godfather of my son. So although we miss each other because he works days that I'm home, so we email a lot and talk over the phone. But he's been my dog since day one.
And before we do the meet and greet, I just wanted to ask one final question. And this is, I don't know, as wrestling fans, you know, some people always ask you this question and you don't really, it's a tough one, but
Yeah.
your favorite match that you ever seen? If you have to take it back, you pick one match, you know, what would that be?
One of my matches,
Whether it's
Or just-
your match
or
and a
just
match
that
that you've seen. Yeah.
man, I've always given props to, and even though the wrestling has changed so much and you get to see so many cool moves now, but if I'm gonna go by eras here, 70s, I would have to go with one of my favorite all-time wrestlers, Tiger Mask versus Dynamite Kid. And that was like a big time feud. I used to sit down and watch them two go at it. I'd just get tapes and try to see some of their moves and kind of create them into my own, see what I can twist or make different. But I've always been a big Tiger Mask, Dynamite Kid fan. And then Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon. And then I would have to pick my match with Eddie Guerrero and Halloween Havoc. You know, it goes 70s, 80s, and 90s. So, yeah, mid-90s. That's when I had my match with Eddie.
I got WrestleMania 12. Shout out to Bret Hart. That was one of my favorite matches ever, man.
Wow.
Well, thank you for your time. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank
You
you,
are
guys.
just such, you know, a great person, man.
Thank you.
And thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.